You've done everything they told you. Cut carbs, drank more water, walked every morning. Yet every time you step in front of the mirror, the belly fat is still there, clinging on like a bad memory. You start to wonder, is something wrong with me? But what if I told you it's not about what you're doing? It's about when you're doing it. You might not be overeating, but you might be eating too often. Let that sink in. This isn't a failure of effort, it's a failure of timing. There's a cruel irony to the weight loss industry. The more desperate you are to lose belly fat, the more misinformation you get fed. Jane, a 38-year-old mom of 2, spent months trying low-fat yogurts, HIIT classes, and eating 6 small meals a day. Still, she never made peace with her genes. "I'm doing everything right," she told her doctor. The problem? Everything she did was based on controlling calories, not hormones. And no one told her the key hormone is insulin, especially if she was eating from morning until night without pause. Insulin is like the body's gatekeeper. Every time you eat, yes, even something healthy like fruit, your insulin spikes. And when insulin is up, fat burning is shut off. Not paused, not slowed, completely off. Think of your metabolism like a campfire. Every time you eat, it's like throwing a wet towel over the flames. That's why grazing all day, even on healthy snacks, keeps your body in storage mode, not burn mode. Intermittent fasting flips that switch. It lets the fire roar again. But why doesn't anyone tell you this from the start? Because it's not a sexy headline. Skip breakfast doesn't sell cereal. Wait longer between meals doesn't move snack bars. The truth is, you've been playing by rules written by marketers, not by biology. The frustration, the confusion, the plateau, it's all a symptom of a system that never explained how to listen to your body. Intermittent fasting isn't starvation, it's structured eating. It's giving your body space to breathe, recover, and actually burn the fat it's been storing for years. Let's go back to Jane. After switching to a simple intermittent fasting plan, just skipping breakfast and eating lunch at noon, something clicked. She wasn't starving. She wasn't tired. She actually had more energy. Her cravings? Gone. Within weeks, the belly fat began to soften. It was like my body had been waiting for permission to let go, she said. That's because her insulin had finally dropped low enough to allow fat burning to begin. The weight didn't fall off overnight, but for the first time, she felt in control, not of her food, but of her biology. And you don't need to be perfect to start. Maybe today, you just delay breakfast by 2 hours. Or tonight, you stop eating after dinner. Those little changes send a signal to your body. We're shifting gears. It's not about willpower. It's about rhythm. And once your body finds its rhythm, burning belly fat becomes natural, not forced, not punishing, just part of a life that finally feels aligned. Because the real problem wasn't your lack of effort, it was your timing. And now you know better. We've been conditioned to fear hunger. But hunger isn't the enemy, it's a signal, like the body stretching after sleep. Hunger tells you something is working, that your metabolism is waking up, that your body is learning to fuel itself again. Intermittent fasting doesn't mean skipping joy. It means returning to it. Food will taste better. Energy will feel real. Confidence won't be tied to a scale. This isn't about shrinking yourself. It's about expanding your freedom. One meal, one pause, one breath at a time. Here's a thought. What if everything you've tried before wasn't wrong, but just mistimed? What if your body's not broken, it's just tired of the noise? Intermittent fasting offers quiet, clarity, a chance to hear your body again. So today, try skipping breakfast. Just once, not to punish yourself, but to observe. See how your energy flows, how your hunger shifts. You might just realize you weren't failing. You were fasting at the wrong time. Let's be honest, nobody gets excited about salad. It's not the hero in your favorite movie. It doesn't come with a sizzling sound or a sweet reward. But if you're trying to burn belly fat, especially after 40, salad isn't just a side dish, it's your secret weapon. Not because it's low calorie, but because it helps lower the one thing standing between you and fat burning: insulin. The green stuff doesn't just fill your stomach, it cools down the hormonal fire that's been blocking your progress. Think of insulin like a wild flame. Every time it spikes, your body goes into storage mode. Salad, especially leafy greens, acts like a gentle fire blanket, quieting that insulin response, allowing your metabolism to breathe. Intermittent fasting opens the door to fat burning, but salad helps keep it open. When you start your meal with fiber-rich greens, your blood sugar rises more slowly, your insulin stays calm, and your body gets the message. No crisis here. We can keep burning fat. It's not flashy, but it's powerful. Let's talk cravings. You know those 3 p.m. slumps that send you hunting for chips or cookies? Often, they're not caused by lack of willpower. They're a symptom of nutrient deficiency. Magnesium, potassium, B vitamins, all found in dark leafy greens, are like the oil your metabolic engine needs to run smoothly. Without them, your body starts throwing signals. I'm tired, I'm hungry, something's off. A big, colorful salad at lunch can stop those crashes before they begin. It's like giving your body the mineral tools it needs to handle fasting like a pro. Here's a common mistake: eating salad after your protein or carbs. By then, your blood sugar is already rising and your insulin is chasing after it. Flip the script. Eat salad first. Give your body a buffer. The fiber in those greens slows everything down in the best way. It's like putting speed bumps in front of your metabolic traffic. Suddenly, your energy lasts longer. Your hunger fades. You feel steady. That simple switch, starting with greens, can turn an ordinary meal into a fat-burning machine. Meet David. At 42, he was stuck in what he called the yo-yo loop. Lose 5 pounds, gain 7. His trainer told him to cut carbs, increase cardio, and eat more chicken, but nothing worked. Then he learned to stack his lunch differently. Spinach first, then protein, and healthy fat last. It felt silly at first. He laughed. But within a week, I wasn't starving by dinner. His belly fat started melting, not because he starved himself, but because he learned to manage insulin. A bowl of greens changed the game. Still not convinced? Salad isn't about looking healthy. It's about feeling different. The fiber feeds your gut bacteria, which helps your body process everything better, from fats to hormones. Plus, you don't have to choke down raw kale to win. A mix of romaine, arugula, cucumbers, and olive oil does the job beautifully. Throw in some avocado or walnuts, and you've got a salad that feels like a full meal, not a punishment. This is about enjoying food while nudging your body toward balance. And here's the kicker. When you're eating low-carb or intermittent fasting, fiber becomes your best friend. It keeps digestion moving, prevents that dreaded keto flu, and helps your cells absorb nutrients better. Forget about tracking every calorie, just make sure salad shows up at least once a day. Not as a decoration, as the main act. You'll start to notice more stable energy, fewer cravings, and that one stubborn button on your jeans finally closing without a fight. So try this today. Before your next meal, have a bowl of greens. Don't dress it with sugar-loaded sauces. Just olive oil, maybe lemon, a pinch of sea salt. Simple, fresh, powerful. Watch how your body responds, not in pounds, but in energy, hunger, and clarity. Salad might not be sexy, but it's smarter than any crash diet out there. And in the long run, smart always wins. If you've ever tried to burn belly fat, someone's probably told you, eat more protein. So you do. You load your meals with grilled chicken, turkey, egg whites. You drink protein shakes. But the belly fat? Still there, still stubborn. That's because the advice was only half right. It's not just about eating more protein. It's about eating the right kind of protein. Without fat, protein can actually keep you stuck, spiking insulin and leaving you constantly hungry. The key isn't in the number of grams. It's in the quality. Lean protein sounds smart. It's what we've been taught. Low fat equals healthy. But when you strip away the fat, your body misses out on key nutrients. Fat helps absorb vitamins A, D, E, and K, all vital for metabolism. Without those, your energy dips, your cravings rise, and your body holds on to fat like it's preparing for winter. Protein without fat is like a locked door with no key. Your body can't access what it needs. Real change begins when you stop fearing fat and start pairing protein with what nature gave it, fuel. Let's take Mark, 42, who'd been fasting for months. He ate chicken breast at every meal, but felt constantly exhausted and stuck at the same weight. "I thought I was doing it right," he said. Then he tried a new approach: grass-fed beef, whole eggs, sardines in olive oil. Within days, he noticed a shift. He wasn't starving, he had energy, and the belly started shrinking. It wasn't magic, it was hormones. Fat balanced his insulin response. With insulin down, his body could finally burn fat. It was never about less food. It was about smarter fuel. Here's what most people miss. Protein raises insulin too, especially when it's low fat. A whey protein shake can spike insulin just like white bread. But when you eat protein that still has its natural fat, like salmon or lamb, insulin stays steady. Your body feels satisfied. Your cravings drop. And instead of bouncing between hunger and fatigue, you stay grounded. It's not a trick, it's biology. Intermittent fasting opens the door to fat burning, but your food choices decide whether you walk through it. Protein with fat lets your body say, "It's safe now. Let go of the storage." Fat also slows digestion. That's a good thing. Slower digestion means less blood sugar spikes, more steady energy, and fewer crashes. When you eat egg whites alone, they digest quickly, leaving you hungry in an hour. But when you eat the whole egg, yolk and all, you stay full for hours. That's why traditional cultures never threw away the fat. They understood balance. Modern diet culture convinced us to separate what was never meant to be apart. Bringing fat back isn't rebellion. It's remembering what worked long before low-fat labels confused us all. This doesn't mean fat is the star of the show. It means fat is the teammate that makes protein work. Think of fat as the driver and protein as the car. You need both to get where you're going. That's why meals like salmon with avocado, eggs with feta, or steak with greens cooked in olive oil work better than plain grilled chicken. They nourish, they stabilize, they satisfy. And when you're satisfied, you don't snack. You don't crash. You stay in fat-burning mode without effort. It's not about eating more. It's about eating in sync. So, what does this look like in real life? Try breaking your fast with 3 eggs cooked in butter plus spinach sautéed in olive oil. Or lunch with sardines, arugula, and avocado. These aren't cheat meals. They're smart meals. Meals that respect your biology, that keep your insulin low, your energy high, and your hunger calm. And when your body feels safe, it finally releases what it's been holding, especially around the belly. You didn't need another diet. You needed a better rhythm. Just for today. Skip the shake. Swap the dry chicken for salmon. Don't be afraid to eat the yolk. Watch what changes, not just your weight, but your energy, your cravings, your mood. Protein isn't the enemy, but when you remove the fat, you lose the signal that says, "I'm nourished." And without that signal, fat loss never truly begins. The fix isn't complicated. It's just honest. Go back to the basics. Whole food, whole protein, whole you. You've probably been told that eating fat makes you fat, that skipping breakfast means starving. That hunger is a warning sign, not a wave to ride. But here's a strange truth. Eating more of the right fats can actually help you eat less overall. That's the paradox of intermittent fasting. It works best when you're not running on willpower, but on fuel. And healthy fat is that fuel. Not sugar, not carbs, not protein shakes, but avocado, olive oil, fatty fish. These are what make fasting feel effortless instead of exhausting. Imagine your body as a fireplace. Most diets give you kindling, fast-burning, short-lived energy. But fat? Fat is the log that keeps the fire burning all day. It steadies your energy, flattens your insulin curve, and extends the time between meals without hunger pains. That's how intermittent fasting becomes sustainable, not by grit, but by balance. The real reason people quit fasting isn't because they're weak, it's because they're underfueled. They're trying to fast on fumes. But if you nourish with good fat, you stretch your fasting window without even trying. Let's talk about Amy, 35, who struggled with 16/8 fasting. She'd skip breakfast, but by 11 a.m., her head hurt and she snapped at everyone. "Fasting makes me mean," she joked. But the issue wasn't fasting, it was fuel. She started eating a high-fat dinner, salmon, spinach, and olive oil. The next morning, no hunger, no headaches. She made it to lunch calmly, because now her body had something to burn. Fat made her fast-fed, not fast-starved. The difference wasn't in time, it was in how she entered the fast. The science is simple. When you eat fat, insulin doesn't spike the way it does with carbs or even lean protein. That means your body stays in fat-burning mode longer. It's the hormonal magic of keto and intermittent fasting combined. Fat keeps insulin low, cravings down, and energy steady. It doesn't mean eating sticks of butter. It means adding avocado to your eggs, coconut oil to your greens, or a few almonds between meals. It's not indulgence, it's intention. You're not feeding emotions, you're feeding endurance. People fear fat because diet culture told them to. But what if fat isn't the villain, but the key to freedom? Real fat, not fake oils or processed dressings, tells your body it's okay. It brings satiety, calm, and metabolic flexibility. That's why people who eat enough fat actually find fasting easier, not harder. They're not battling their biology, they're working with it. Intermittent fasting isn't just a clock, it's a strategy. And healthy fats make that strategy sustainable. Let's clear something up. Eating fat doesn't break your fast. Eating during your fast does. But eating enough fat before the fast can help you go longer. Fat helps your body switch from sugar burning to fat burning, a state called being fat adapted. And when you're fat adapted, your body doesn't panic between meals. It dips into your stored fuel calmly. That's how belly fat melts, not through punishment, but through permission. Permission to rest, to space your meals, to trust your body. So if you've been struggling with fasting, always watching the clock, counting hours, feeling drained, try this. Before your next fast, have a meal rich in healthy fat. Eggs with ghee, salmon with avocado, even a small cup of bone broth with butter. Then observe. See how much easier fasting feels. Notice how cravings shrink, focus sharpens, and your mood lifts. You weren't bad at fasting. You were just running on empty. Graceful Health Life teaches this kind of nourishment. Smart, simple, and sustainable. And if this message resonates, if you've ever felt like your body was broken, but now realize it just needed the right rhythm, then you're exactly who we created this for. Fasting isn't suffering. Eating fat isn't failure. Together, they unlock your body's wisdom. So before your next meal, choose fuel that lasts. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Graceful Health Life. We're here to help you burn fat. Yes, but more importantly, to help you trust yourself again. Somewhere along the road to adulthood, we stopped eating when we were hungry and started eating when the clock said so. Breakfast at 7, lunch at 12, dinner at 6. But your body doesn't care what time it is. It only cares what it needs. And most of the time, that need isn't food. The truth is, every time you eat, your insulin rises, even if it's a handful of nuts or a bite of protein bar. And when insulin is up, fat burning is down. That's why eating when not hungry stalls results. Intermittent fasting is powerful because it gives your body time without food. Time to lower insulin, time to burn belly fat. But even the best fasting window can be ruined by unnecessary eating. That sip of oat milk in your coffee, that mid-morning bite of toast, each one turns off the fat-burning switch. Hunger is not the enemy. True hunger builds slowly. It signals that your body is shifting from burning food to burning stored fat. Learning to pause before you eat isn't discipline, it's metabolic wisdom. Your body knows. You just need to listen. Meet Jasmine, a 37-year-old teacher who struggled with energy crashes and stubborn. She followed all the rules, 3 meals a day, no snacking. But nothing worked. Then, one day, she skipped breakfast because she wasn't hungry. By noon, she felt light, focused, even calm. It was strange, she said. I felt better eating less. She began tuning into hunger cues. No longer eating out of habit, she noticed her cravings disappeared. Her belly began to flatten. The secret wasn't in supplements, it was in silence. Her body had been whispering for years. She finally listened. Here's something wild. Even healthy snacks can keep you stuck. A bite of banana, a spoon of peanut butter, even a few almonds, they all signal insulin. And every insulin spike stops fat burning in its tracks. Think of insulin like a switch. On means store fat, off means burn fat. So what keeps that switch off longer? Fewer meals, spaced further apart, guided by actual hunger. This doesn't mean you have to skip meals. It means you have to skip the noise. Noise from culture, from habits, from fear. Hunger isn't a crisis, it's a compass. Let's break a myth. Skipping meals slows your metabolism. That fear kept millions of people stuck in cycles of constant eating and constant storing. But your metabolism doesn't slow when you don't eat. It adapts. It becomes more efficient. And if you're fat adapted, your body smoothly shifts from burning food to burning fat. You stop needing constant fuel. You stop obsessing over snacks. You feel calm even when you haven't eaten for hours. That's not magic. That's hormonal balance, and it starts with one rule. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Want a quick self-check? Before your next bite, would I eat plain chicken and broccoli right now? If the answer is no, you're not truly hungry. You're triggered, maybe by stress, boredom, or routine. True hunger isn't emotional. It's physical, gradual, and honest. And when you respect it, your body rewards you with clarity, energy, and yes, fat loss. This isn't about starving. It's about syncing with your biology. Intermittent fasting works best when it's not forced. It's easiest when you simply wait for your body to say, now. You've been taught to fear skipping meals, but skipping meals your body didn't ask for. That's not neglect, it's healing. Every skipped unnecessary meal is more time for your insulin to fall, for your body to clean house, for fat burning to continue uninterrupted. Imagine giving your metabolism a break instead of constantly interrupting it. Less chewing, more clarity. Fewer spikes, more stability. That's how real transformation begins. Not with struggle, but with stillness. Your body was never broken. It just needed space. So next time the clock says it's mealtime, ask your body, does it need food or just a glass of water and a breath of fresh air? Trust that pause. Trust your signals. And if this approach makes sense to you, if it feels like someone finally said what you've always felt deep down, then this is just the beginning. At Graceful Health Life, we help people return to that inner wisdom. Subscribe if you haven't. Let's stop eating out of fear and start eating from freedom. If you've ever wondered, can I really get enough nutrients eating just once or twice a day? You're not alone. It's a common fear when starting intermittent fasting. We've been told that fewer meals equal fewer nutrients, but here's the truth. It's not about how many times you eat, it's about how well you eat. Think of each meal like filling up a tank for a long drive. When your body is fat adapted, it doesn't need constant refueling. It needs complete refueling. And that comes from nutrient-dense meals, not frequent ones. Many people eat 3, 4, even 6 times a day, but still feel tired, moody, and hungry. Why? Because they're grazing on snacks low in real nutrition. Instead of giving your body what it needs, they give what it craves. With intermittent fasting, your meals must do more than fill your stomach. They must nourish your cells. That means focusing on foods rich in electrolytes, B vitamins, magnesium, and trace minerals. This isn't about eating clean. It's about eating deeply. Eating for function, not just flavor. And once you make that switch, your body thanks you with lasting energy. Let's take Brian, 40, who tried OMAD, 1 meal a day, but felt weak and lightheaded by 3 p.m. He assumed fasting wasn't for him. But then he reviewed his plate: white rice, grilled chicken, and a diet soda. No fat, no minerals, no depth. He revamped his meal: salmon, dark greens, olive oil, sea salt, and avocado. Same calories, but a world of difference. I didn't crash anymore, he said. I felt clear and focused. His issue wasn't fasting, it was undernourishing. Intermittent fasting only works long-term when your meals support your biology, not just your appetite. A common trap is thinking less food means less nutrition. But the opposite is true. Less frequent eating demands more thoughtful eating. Your body still needs potassium, magnesium, sodium, calcium, and a full spectrum of vitamins. If you don't get them from food, your body pulls from reserves, and you feel the drain, fatigue, mood swings, stalled fat burning. That's why many keto beginners hit a wall. They cut carbs, reduce meals, but forget to replace lost nutrients. With the right foods, spinach, eggs, sea salt, fermented veggies, you prevent burnout and keep the fat-burning engine running smooth. Here's a simple rule. Build your plate like a performance vehicle, not a snack tray. Include a quality protein, a healthy fat, and deep greens. Add fermented food for gut health. Sprinkle with sea salt for electrolytes. Suddenly, you've got a meal that works with your fasting window, not against it. You feel full, energized, and focused for hours. And the best part? You stop obsessing over food. 1 or 2 meals done right can give more than 5 done wrong. Most of us aren't underfed, we're undernourished. You can eat 3 full meals and still lack magnesium or vitamin B6. That's why eating less doesn't scare a well-prepared body. It adapts. It thrives, especially when you become fat-adapted and train your body to burn stored energy between meals. That's what intermittent fasting unlocks, not just fewer meals, but deeper nutrition. You eat to fuel, not to distract. You start listening to what your body really needs. And that shift changes everything. It's also worth noting, fasting doesn't mean going without flavor or satisfaction. In fact, most people report meals taste better when they eat less often. That's your palate resetting, your brain learning to savor. With just 1 or 2 meals, every bite matters more, so make them count. Add herbs, spices, broth, fermented garlic, turmeric, lemon zest. Elevate your plate. Food isn't the enemy. It's the teacher. It teaches you timing, balance, and care. And when you care enough to nourish deeply, your body responds with clarity, energy, and peace. So tonight, when you sit down to eat, ask yourself, is this meal enough to carry me? Not just to the next meal, but to the next version of you. Nourish smart. Eat slow. Stay grateful. Intermittent fasting isn't a challenge, it's an invitation to trust that fewer, better meals can lead to a freer, lighter life. And if you found value in this journey so far, subscribe to Graceful Health Life. We're here to help you burn fat, build strength, and live wiser with every meal that truly feeds you. You've made it through 5 powerful shifts. First, starting meals with greens. Simple, but it works. Then, choosing proteins that come with fat instead of stripping them bare. Using healthy fats to extend your fasting window effortlessly. Learning to eat only when hungry. Revolutionary in a world of food on demand. And finally, packing enough nutrition into 1 or 2 solid meals. Each tip alone moves the needle. Together, they change the game. Intermittent fasting becomes more than a schedule. It becomes a strategy for living, healing, and burning fat without fear. Most people start their fat loss journey chasing calories or steps. They count and cut, but never connect. This journey, what you've just walked, it's different. It's about partnering with your biology, not punishing it. When you lower insulin through strategic fasting and nutrient-dense eating, your body responds. Belly fat starts to melt, not because you fought harder, but because you finally stopped fighting yourself. Your energy stabilizes, your cravings quiet, and something softer happens. You begin to trust your body again. That's not weight loss, that's restoration. Your body isn't broken. That belly fat, it's not a failure. It's a message, a sign that your system has been out of rhythm for too long, that your hormones have been overworked, that your meals have been rushed or shallow. But now you have the tools to reset. Leafy greens for your gut, fatty proteins for your hormones, real hunger as your compass, space between meals to heal, minerals and micronutrients to rebuild. This isn't a diet, it's a homecoming. You're not fixing, you're remembering. Let's name the emotions: shame, frustration, fatigue, confusion. We carry them in our stomachs, not just in our hearts. That's why belly fat feels so personal. But healing doesn't begin with blame. What if your body isn't betraying you, but trying to protect you? What if it's been asking for rhythm, for rest, for nourishment, not rules? When you respond with kindness and structure, not shame, your body softens. It trusts again. And in that trust, fat loss happens as a byproduct, not a battle. These 5 shifts aren't about being perfect. They're about being present. Some days you'll fast with ease. Other days, you'll eat early. That's okay. This is a practice, not a performance. What matters is the return, the quiet choice to tune back in, back to whole meals, back to intentional pauses, back to listening, instead of overriding. Every time you return, you strengthen the signal between mind and body. That signal is your compass. Follow it long enough and it leads to freedom. So what now? Pick one tip, just one, implement it tomorrow. Not because you should, but because you're curious. Maybe it's starting with a salad. Maybe skipping the snack you weren't truly hungry for. Maybe choosing salmon instead of protein powder. Each small shift plants a seed. And with time, those seeds bloom into habits. Habits that don't feel forced because they fit. This isn't about willpower. It's about alignment. When food and fasting match your biology, fat loss becomes gentle and surprisingly sustainable. And as you continue, remember, you're not alone. Thousands are waking up from diet culture, stepping into a slower, smarter rhythm. That's what Graceful Health Life is here for. We don't promise quick fixes. We offer long-term support, evidence, encouragement, gentle reminders that your body knows. It just needs the space, the nutrients, and the kindness to prove it. If this resonated with you, we invite you to stay with us. Like, share, and yes, subscribe. This journey is better when walked together. What's been harder for you? Fasting itself or believing that you can actually do it long term? Drop a comment. Let's talk. And don't miss our next video, where we'll break down exactly what to eat after a fast to burn more belly fat. It's the natural next step after today. Remember, your body is not the obstacle. It's the guide. And the more you listen, the more it leads you home.